Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. Today's video is one about the death of dream, and why young Brits have basically stopped believing in the future. So if you ask anybody under 30, and I've done this with my kids most recently, you ask them what their 5-year plan is. To be fair, the same response that mine gave, they laugh. Because for a lot of young Brits, the dream, the plan, if you like, is one about progress, about ownership, about opportunity. But for them, that is mostly unattainable. It literally feels like it's out of reach. In 2025, Prince's Trust survey found that over 40% of young people don't believe they will ever earn enough to be able to buy a house. 1 in 5, in fact, said they'd already given up on financial independence. And I mean, yeah, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about why this generation feels cheated and also why it's not their fault. So you've got to start with wages versus reality. Young workers today, they earn less in real terms than their parents did at the same age. And that's a fact. Graduate salaries have stagnated. In fact, I see graduate jobs on Indeed that are basically paid as interns. So they're paid very often, the bottom most salary that they can get away with paying. Things like rent, things like food, transport costs, all of these have exploded. Even skilled jobs now don't offer stability. They offer basically the opposite. You've got short term contracts, you've got outsourcing, you've got AI and automation that's just eclipsing entry level roles in most industries. For the average 25 to 34-year-old, they're spending up to 42% of their income just on rent. Home ownership amongst the under 35s is now down to 28%, which is actually half of what it was in the 1990s. Incidentally, in the 1990s, to buy a house, it was 3.5 times or thereabouts the annual salary or the average annual income at the time. Right now in 2025, it's 8.8 times. Do the math on that. That's incredible. So that's why, for many youngsters now, I call them youngsters, for many 25 to 35-year-olds now, home ownership absolutely feels like a myth. It feels like it's something for YouTubers or for landlords, not for real people. And with all of this, there comes a mental toll, not just the anxiety of what am I going to do, but also the lost motivation. When every effort still leads to struggle, motivation obviously collapses. The ONS, they've basically done surveys that have found record levels of depression and anxiety amongst the 18 to 34s in 2024. Young people aren't lazy. They're really not. They're probably the most motivated that they've ever been because of what they see on social media, because of the way that flashy lives and living your best life and all the rest of this bollocks is pushed on them daily. They're probably more motivated than ever to want to really attain that. But at the same time, they're demoralized by a system that simply doesn't reward effort and at the same time tries to take if they try and get ahead. And it isn't just a youth problem either. It is really a societal one. A generation that can't afford homes won't have any interest in starting families. If they can't invest, then it's a generation that simply won't sustain growth. If young Brits stop believing in their future, then our country basically doesn't have one. It's a sad fact. And this isn't about pessimism, not at all. And I know a lot of my videos may come across as being pessimistic and whatever. It's about being real. It's about realism more than anything else. Young people today, they're not broken. The system is. The system is absolutely effed. And unless something changes with wages, with housing, with stability, with prospects, Britain's next generation will be the first to live worse, far worse than their parents. So, what are your thoughts on this? Have you got kids? Are you in my position where you've got, a couple of 25-year-olds under your belt? And, ask them the same question. What's their 5-year plan? See what response you get. The answer might be eye opening. But what are your thoughts on this? Drop it in the comments, let me know. YouTube is going to put another video there. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. There'll be another video tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.